Hey Virgo, this is your general tarot reading for Virgo, Sun, Moon and Ascendant or Rising sign for the month of May. Virgo, let's do as we always do. We're going to shuffle the cards and wait on the right ones to come out for you, my love. And in the meantime, let's talk about the energies that you may feel throughout the month. So, we're leaving behind April, still feeling the effect of the full moon in Libra. Now, there was a full moon in Libra in March also. So March and April, full moon Libra. So you felt it strongly. And you're still feeling it here a little bit too, Virgo, where there was some unfairness about money, some unfairness about some situation. For those of you in a relationship, you could have got very worried or concerned about how your partner is spending their money. You could have looked at their whole approach to money and said, this doesn't sit easy with me at all. You're going to have to fix this shit. I can't look at you while you're so careless with how you spend your money or how you approach money. So that's for some of you. But also for many of you, it could have marked a real period where you had to bring back some sense of balance to this whole money situation. You had to take out all your bank account, all your accounts, whatever it was you were doing. Now, I know in the US you did have recently your tax season, so maybe that's part of it too, but there's a real determination now to really clear up some fears you had around money and maybe even taxes. But you're working on it this month. It seems whatever has happened, the worst of it is over now. The fears. Some of you may have had to go through some sort of financial tribunal. Go to a group where you had a hearing where they had to judge whether you were due money or where money was unfair. Maybe if there was a separation, some of you had to go through the courts to see some of that money back. So that's an example of what could have been going on for you, because money might have been a real cause of concern, Virgo, where some absolute fairness, real fairness had to come back here, where you were paid what you were due, where you were given the money that you had earned, where it was yours. If nobody was going to take that money away from you anymore, For some of you, if you had money, an issue where money had been stolen or taken on you, you may have had to go through the legal system for that. But again, I just feel that you're wrapping all of that up now. Thank God for this month. You're coming to some sort of conclusion. But the second house is also where we have our self-value, self-worth and self-esteem, and where we also feel like we can tap into kind of getting more energy. Now again, some of you, your partner could have been making you feel, for those in a relationship, that you were losing a bit of confidence, that you might have felt that energy-wise they were working against you. They could have been draining you. For one reason or another, you could have felt, my life would be so much easier if they just worked with me and didn't drain my energy all the time. But your confidence will come back up, Virgo, through this month, because there's a real need here, a real need for you not to be so kind of quick to hand out your energy to other people, which drains you ultimately, and not to be handing out money either to other people. An issue over money, I really feel that strongly, an issue over money that got so many people divided that again, you maybe had to be the one to stand in the middle of other people fighting over money. Maybe you had to be the one standing in the middle of other people and their problems. You had to be the mediator, the smart one, the adjudicator. Someone who is like the judge, like Judge Judy, in the middle, trying to resolve other people's differences. So there's a lot, I just feel there's a lot. It's been, basically what I feel for you, Virgo, it's been a lot. Been a lot. You've been trying to keep your own self together, and other people and other situations have been taking your energy, and it has kind of got you to the point of feeling, oh, will this period ever end? I'm tired of listening to two opposing factions fighting here too. Family members, friends, work colleagues, they're always at each other's throats, and I have to always try to be the sensible one in the middle. I am bored of it, I'm tired of it, and I've made a clean decision that it's not going to take energy away from me anymore, and it's certainly not going to take any of my confidence away from me, because I'm getting sharper, smarter. I'm going to focus on my own ideas from now on. I'm going to focus on clearing up my space here, my mind space. Again, it's that feeling, Virgo, of other people coming to you with their problems, maybe even two warring sides coming together, like I said, and you had to be the one to, bring that wisdom, bring that good judgment to the situation, But you've done a good job. I have to say that, Virgo. I feel that energy, and particularly with your first card here, you've done a good job of handing out the truth, dishing out the truth, even if it hurt some people, that you had to say it. And you had to say it in a very pure way, in a kind of, I'm not going to take sides, I'm not going to get all impassioned about this, I'm just going to give you the truth. So there's a lot of that you're leaving behind, because you've other things to focus on. You have the Sun in Taurus in your 9th house. On May 4th, the new moon going into Taurus in your 9th house. On May 6th, Mercury, your ruler, goes into Taurus in the 9th house, and Venus goes into Taurus on May 15th in the 9th house. And this is Venus in Taurus style card coming out, where you've recognized that you just need a vacation. Maybe you had a vacation and it was a shit one, and that's why everybody fell out. That's why there were big money issues. That's why there were problems. You're just saying, I just need to go on another vacation. I need to get all my travel documents together, my passport, whatever it takes, my working visa. Maybe if some of you want to go and work abroad or study abroad, it's like, I need to get all that shit together now, because I need to get out of some of that small-mindedness that other people and their small, ridiculous problems have just had my brain working overtime. So I've got to step away from that, and I've just got to focus on resting, relaxing, seeing the bigger picture, sitting on a beach somewhere, drinking cocktails and eating nice food, just watching the tide roll in, roll out, roll in, roll out, because that's what I need. I just need that space where the world seems bigger than all the small, shitty details that have been brought to my door recently. And even if you can't do a vacation, even if that's not where you're at this month, Virgo, although I'd be surprised, because I think you'd be fairly organized, even if money has been an issue, I think you do still want to, it's almost like cleanse the palate. I want to see something new, even if it doesn't take a huge amount of money. Just go somewhere to a nature place, particularly somewhere wild, somewhere where there is a bit of green, a bit of ocean, a bit of river, a bit of some nature, where you can say, okay, breathe in that fine air, breathe it in, the clean air, and just make my soul feel clean again. And there's something in this too, Virgo, because it will bring back a sense of being in touch with your spirituality. I think there's been a lot of noise around you, a lot of people who couldn't see the goodness in other people, a lot of people who had too much bickering, too much fighting, that there was no grace, there was no compassion, there was no dignity. They lost their morals even by some of the gossipy, horrible things they've said. And you just said, enough, enough. I'm not going to live in a space or in a world where everybody is so, I just keep hearing the word graceless. I'm going back to nature. Even if it just means walking in the park in the afternoon, just to hear the birds sing or something, take a coffee nearby a nature place, because really, I just need to be reminded again this month that not everybody in this world and not everything in this world is as small and as petty and as bitchy and as unnatural as they are. So you're holding on to that, and you are making that work for you, Virgo. It's a very spiritual time, and it's a very good time to broaden that perspective, great time to study higher educational things, a great time to get stuck into getting back in touch with your philosophy in life. This is what's going to carry me through some of that shitty behavior of other people, knowing that I'm a spiritual person, maybe a religious person, knowing that at least if you're not religious, at least having a good, sense of ethics, a sense of morals, a sense of, no, this is my stance, this is the bigger part of me, this is where I draw bigger energy, and I'm going to use that in my life now, and let all of those noisy bitches get on with their own noisy lives. I know, but study, travel, vacations, spirituality, listening to deep thinkers, going out of your way to go to museums, to go to places where people have put a lot of ideology into something, getting books, downloading some books or some movies or whatever that are all about something deeper, something where there's a bit of thought put into it, basically. A bit of thought. And that's maybe something too, Virgo. I think that you might have felt that there were a bunch of people who were around you, so I can't speak, who were very thoughtless in their actions, very thoughtless in their behavior, very just ungenerous. And I think some of it might have surprised you. I think even some people that you thought were good people suddenly did something and behaved a certain way where you said, I can't trust you anymore, because I see when the shit hits the fan that you get small again. I thought you were much bigger than that. Thought you were much bigger. So I'm stepping away and I'm going to find what's bigger. So that's very strong. I'm sticking with that vibe there for a moment, Virgo, because I feel that's very strong. I know we often say Virgo likes purity, cleanliness. You like to have your house in order. You like to have your clothes in order. You like to have your working area in order. It has to be in order because when it makes sense, when everything's in order, then you can get on with the business of something bigger. Get on with the business of just being yourself. And I think this is one of those spiritually clean moments, soul clean, where if I can clean up some of that toxicity that other people brought into my life, then it's like getting, the detergent, the disinfecting out and spraying it and saying, wiping it down and saying, clean, free. Yeah, clean, spiritually clean in the deepest parts of your soul. But something I feel has driven you to this, Virgo, and I think it is the very toxic behavior of other people. Yeah. And their duplicity and their schemes and their plans, and they're always trying to get one over on each other. It may not even have been directed at you, Virgo. It's just like an environmental thing where all around you there were, I don't know, I don't like it anyway. I don't like the vibe, but what I'm glad is here that you're working to neutralize and disinfect all of that. So it's very nice and very empowering for you too, Virgo. Now, we know as we enter the month that Mars is in the 10th house. It's in Gemini. And man, are you working? You're working hard. You have some great ideas and a lot of focus to pull some great ideas together to make it work for you. You have a responsibility and a duty right now to make some project right, to make some something that you are in charge of, even if it's not your career, but it's like you are the key figure, you are the key person, you are the one that's holding it all together, and there's a lot of energy being put into that. Now, being that person, as we spoke of a few moments ago, where you are the responsible one, the one where all friends are fighting, or all family or work colleagues are fighting, that takes a lot of energy, but it seems you're holding your ground very much here and being very responsible. But we'll go back to the work situation here too. The work that you're doing right now, Virgo, it's going to pay off. It's really going to begin paying off. It's been tough. It's taken a lot of your mind. It's taken a lot of your concentration, but it will begin to really pay off, because ultimately what you want is the freedom of success, having a good income. in your North Node, you have the 11th house there, Cancer North Node. You want that good income to come to you. You want to go up a gear. You want to get promoted. You want to get up with a good level of people in with a new work team. And you're working hard with it. If you work on social media, you want to go up to this next level. And all this work is going to start paying off. But the key here, Virgo, is before you can see the fruits of that, before you can reach out and grab the reward that you do deserve, you absolutely do deserve it with all the creativity and hard work that you've been putting into it. But the thing that needs to be let go of is the fear of success. Now, isn't that's a weird thing, the fear of success. We touched upon it a little bit last month. What would make a person be afraid of success? Well, there's a lot of responsibilities that comes with that. And for you, Virgo, you take responsibilities very, very seriously. So the fear might be the whole life change of being a success. If I become a CEO, a manager, go up a gear, get a bigger audience on my social media platform, or get a lot of people seeing the creative thing that I'm doing, that means I have to be committed to it. That means that I'm in it. That means that there's no going back. And that means a lot of extra hard work. And I just need that little extra bit of confidence to kind of be sure that I can commit to that. Because I'm no slacker, I'm no sloucher. Man, I will work when I have to. But I want to know that if I'm committing to this next level success, then I want to know that it's not going to take some of my happiness away. I don't want to be somebody who just spends all my life working because I'm good at that and I can fall into the trap of that easily. I want to at least enjoy what I'm doing. So that's where the tentative steps are. That's where when you just are ready to grab your prize and go up that gear, Virgo, you're saying, big commitment, will it make me happy? And for some of you with children, you're saying, big commitment, will it mean that I sacrifice some time with my kids? There's a reason why these fears are in place. Because sometimes there's a lot to let go of in order to grow. But I think, being the great organizer that you are, Virgo, you can figure out how to make a leap into your successful future. And for those of you with children, still give a huge amount of time, effort and focus to your children's needs, to allow them to grow with you. And still take the time out to examine how you can be really happy in the work that you're doing. Virgo, I would be so surprised if some of you aren't really now thinking this month about going up a next level with your creativity, your wonderful, wonderful Virgo creativity. You're great at taking raw materials and making something from them. You're great at that. That's why you can make great chefs, great farmers, great healers, great nutritionists, because you can take certain herbs or foods or things and take the wisdom of all the individual components and bring them together to make something wonderful. So whatever that might be in your life creatively, it's like, this is what makes me happy, when I can pull different things together, bring them together in a creative way and make it really work. Bring people together in a happy way and make them work. Doing something where you're organizing weddings, where you're organizing events, doing something where you're organizing parties, doing something where you're organizing fairs or concerts, organizing groups of people to come together for something. That could be where your real work is. Lots of collaboration, lots of group, working on social media. I mean, that's so 11th house. Working in science and technology, again, investigating, probing, studying how certain things can come together to make something new. That's the vibe of your success. Now you can tailor-make that to suit whatever you have got going on in your life. But I think there's a great big push here this month, Virgo, for you to once and for all say, am I really doing the type of work that I am so happy to do? And if I am, why should I be afraid of going right up into the next stratosphere? Am I afraid of taking the risk? Am I afraid of taking that gamble? Am I afraid of diving in? Am I afraid that I might lose some level of control in some area of my life? But look at what I could gain. Yeah, look at what you could gain. And really, for those of you, if it is an issue with children, put a bit of focus this month on how to balance your success, your future success with, raising children. And making both things, being happy. Maybe you need your community to help you. Maybe you need a greater group, your tribe, to really help you as you go on to your success. You don't have to do it alone, Virgo. So they're the big energies. They're the big vibes that you'll be focusing on. Full moon in Scorpio on May 18th in the 3rd house. Again, focusing on getting your communication right so that you understand clearly what it is that you want and need for your future success. What it is you want and need maybe to win in some argument, maybe with a group of people. What is it that you want and need? And dig deep. For some of you, if there have been arguments, full moon in Scorpio invites you to go and dig deep, 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 and use your intelligence, Virgo, to win an argument or win through some competition that you have with other people. Digging deep seems to provide an answer here that gives you a key piece of information to help you get through something. But the big focus, as I said, is work, but to gain your success without fear, my gorgeous, without fear. Shouldn't have fear. Now, we shouldn't have fear that there's only 6 cards. So let's start choosing a few of them here, Virgo. Yeah, there have been battles, that's for sure. This opt out. And there's a fear of losing money. There's a fear of losing an argument. For some of you, there's a fear of losing a court case, losing at a tribunal, losing at a hearing. But we'll get there. We know that you have to dig deep. We know that if you find some key pieces pushing through energy here, if you find some key pieces of information that could work to your advantage, then you will win through something very pivotal going on here, I think, with arguments, because look at your last card, Justice. A lot of you are dealing with, as I said, courts, tribunals, trying to be going to a mediator, trying to be a mediator, trying to resolve a big argument, possibly in a group of people, maybe within a team in work, but certainly groups of people. They're all bent out of shape, and you somehow find key pieces of information. Some of you might even need to hire a private investigator. I know that sounds very extreme, but for some of you that is the reality. Around the full moon, May 18th, working with an investigative person, a financial investigator, somebody like that, might turn up some vital piece of information that allows you to win through something. So some of you I know are going through the big shit here. So let's get to the cards. Let's look at the big overview, the 9th house running through your whole energy this month. Now, you are really needing clarity. You need something to be super clear. You've enough of the fighting. You want to start over again with a kind of a clean communication with somebody. Clean communication that is a bit broader, that it doesn't always get into the nitpicky small-mindedness that they seem to be able to bring to it. Other people are causing chaos, it seems, around you, and you're doing your very best to keep level-headed. But look, the universe is coming, and the universe is saying, you stand by your morals, stand by your integrity, keep digging for the truth, the real truth. Don't be listening to them. You find your truth and you will get through this, and I support you every step of the way. And even if the truth is hard to hear, both for you and for other people, the power comes when you accept the absolute truth. This is not a time for double dealing or shadiness. Leave that to other people. This is an absolute time of taking the higher moral ground and being right, Virgo. Being right and using that fabulous mercurial instinct to see the pieces and put them together to know what the truth is. Truth is needed here. Venus in Taurus, May 15th, in the 9th house. Definitely some of you need legal advice. You need the advice and wisdom from somebody who can see things from a higher perspective. I mean, that could be a spiritual person. That could be, if you're involved in a church or a spiritual group, that could be, the leader of that group, or getting some wise counsel from somebody, a mediator, an arbitrator, somebody like that. You need somebody who is very wise, who has skills and talents that are maybe even above yours, to solve some mess and to bring you back to a position of comfort, bring you back to a position of being more natural in your life. Somebody is trying to make something in your life very unnatural. Very unnatural. They're unsettling you. But what I'm feeling here, Virgo, is that the more good advice and good counsel you have this month, and the more you're open to listening to higher wisdoms, there's where you'll get your answers. There's where you'll be able to sit back out in your position of power, where you'll be untouchable in some way. They won't be able to get at you. You're protected. You're very protected. Very protected. Why do I feel again for some of you that it's an issue to do with children? Okay, we know that Saturn and Pluto retrograding in the 5th house to do with children. Have some of you got to go back to the courts to talk about getting access to children, or to talk about some issue if you've adult children? Maybe they're maybe you need some clarity with some issue between you and adult children even. So something is going on there, but I see that you definitely are being given some truth and clarity and some real insight to cut through what has been a bullshit situation. Yeah. And it could have been brought to you by somebody who is very good at getting their own way. I feel, Virgo, that there's people around you, maybe it could be a Taurus or a Libra, and they're very good at getting their own way. And they can be a bit bullish and a bit bullying. And I think you stand up to them this month. I really do, because your intuition is strong. Now, that's a lot to do with the 9th house, the house of the gods, where we see things from a more moral perspective, where we see things of being right. We're able to determine what's good, bad, right, wrong, where somebody is being too hard and severe, and where somebody is not showing compassion, and you have to balance up. But it's like there are people being very severe, ungenerous, not being compassionate, not being giving of themselves. And you can't tolerate it anymore. And you're veering towards now bringing back this balance in your life, where there is a better feeling in your life. Even if it means cutting out certain people, I strongly feel Sun, Moon or Ascendant, Libra or Taurus might need to be pushed back for a little while. This is a new moon card, new moon in Taurus in the 9th house. 9th house again, using a higher wisdom to neutralize some toxicity going on by people who are very tricky, people who are very cunning, people who always seem to have a scheme and a plan. But again, it seems to be if you stay honest, and if you stay holding on to the real truth here of the situation, and not be swayed and pulled by other people's trickiness, you get to win here, Virgo. And you won't be deceived by other people. Deceived by other people. And for some of you, it could be people that you really love. It could be somebody that you once loved, an ex. Or some people that you really love and you just can't tolerate just how grabby they are, how small-minded they are. It hurt. I just get the feeling that it hurts you, Virgo. It hurts you at how nasty, picky, gossipy, small-minded they are. But again, these people could be catalysts for growth for you. They allow you to rise up in yourself and come back to that beautiful place in you, Virgo, where you're able to cast good judgment, where you're able to see who's trash and who's treasure. Trash or treasure, that's the month. And you're deciding who falls into which category from this higher perspective. Yeah. Because ultimately, you want to clean all that stuff out so you can get on with your life. Get on. I really feel you need another vacation. If you've only done one recently, Virgo, start getting your coins together and take time out. You need time away from some of these situations and people. You really do. You need clarity in nature. A bit of healing is needed in your soul here, maybe even in your body, because it's been so exhausted by what's been happening. Yeah, really. But the other thing is, again, it's arguments, constant arguments, constant battling, people constantly testing you, constantly debating with you, constantly challenging you. And you just want a good life. You want to get on with your work. You want to get on with your success. But again, it's somebody I feel is determined to make you unhappy. And they've been doing it for a long time. But here, Virgo, is where the tables turn. This is where you mean business. This is where you get serious. And this is where you decide that they are no longer able to have that power over you. They don't get to decide whether you're happy or not. They don't get to decide whether you can do the thing you love or not. They don't get to decide that you can follow your passions or can't follow your passions. And in some cases, they don't get to have such a strong hold over the raising of children in some cases. And maybe one of the things here you might have to do is release some of the fear around raising children for some of you. Okay. But whatever arguments have been coming, they still come thick and fast mid-month. But you are getting stronger. You're getting more confident to deal with it. And you're building up your passion. There's a brazenness here, Virgo, where I feel that even if you're challenged, even if people come at you, you're getting bolder to take a step outside your comfort zone. And to do things that you're passionate about, and you need a break. I really feel, Virgo, you need a break. You need a break first from all of this. And while you take a little bit of a break, and I know even if the coin isn't there, you just need to devote one weekend to spending in nature or something like that. You need a break. Because in that, you get more strength to come back fighting, to come back controlling your world. It's like, I'm supported by the universe. I'm now going to push into my future. I'm now going to make my passions a reality in my life. I'm now going to create a wonderful future for myself. I'm not afraid to be independent in my life. I'm not afraid to go out there and get what I need and to win and to have my fairy tale happy ever after. But before the prince or princess can get the prize, win the golden fleece, they must first identify that there are new adventures for them. They have to come out of their tower like Rapunzel and to step down, throw on your coat or your cloak and your hat, Take what you know with you and be bold and be brave and get out there into the world and try a new adventure. Start something creative. Start being bold in your life. Start taking risks. And even though you're only starting, know you're supported. The energy will multiply. The more you do it, the more it will be multiplied. And it's almost like there's a schism here, Virgo. The more you do the things you're passionate about and work towards your success without fear, the more these other trivial people and trivial situations will die away. The volume will be turned down on them, and the volume of working towards being in a better group of people in work, that will turn up. Finding your dream work, that will turn up. Finding a better way to raise children in a better neighborhood, in a cleaner environment, in a more natural, maybe holistic way, that will expand. So it's like expand what you want and allow the other shit to just fall away. Full moon in Scorpio. Scorpio is where we release the trash and it falls into an abyss where we never see it again. So release the trash and focus on the treasure. And the treasure is where you're going creatively into the future. And you will get that success. You absolutely will. But the bickering and fighting again, the bickering and fighting, that could escalate mid-month. You could be drawn into a real pitched battle here by somebody. And you might go overboard and you might absolutely say way more than you'd intended to say. You might go in and be overkill. But the fear here is that if you do that, Virgo, you might lose something. So my advice to you is, if you're really, really triggered this month by somebody, by an ex, by family, by friends, by a team in work, by your partner, somebody, then do your very best to remember this. There's no point in winning little battles if you have no plan on how to win the war. Really, really. Because going in, battling without any strategy will make you lose. And I have to be straight with you. You will lose. And you might lose money. You might lose contacts, you might lose friends. You just might feel that you've messed up. I should have just said nothing, but they provoked me. So please, Virgo, mid-month, mid to late month, maybe even around May 18th, if you can do this for me, remember, it's not worth winning a small, trivial battle if you have not got a plan on how to win the war. Some of the best ways to win a war is to know, I've said this to who? Aries. They're going through a similar vibe too. Some of the best ways to win a war is to know what battles to fight. Not every battle needs to be fought. I don't know, maybe for some of you it could be between you and an Aries sun, moon or ascendant, but maybe both of you, if it is an Aries you're dealing with, you both have to sit down and say, how do we get past this? How do we get past this? But Aries, I don't know if it's Aries. I'm just saying that because you had similarities. For me, it's very strongly Libra, Pisces, Taurus. They seem to be the ones doing all the major provoking this month. Very much so. So keep sharp, Virgo, keep sharp. Now, by the end of the month, you will see, this is a moon in Libra, the hard and difficult problems you faced over March and April, one last big push will get you through it. Again, you see this is a 9 card, where we have a higher point of view. You see, his big issue here, if you watch this guy, his big problem, he's bashed, beaten, wounded. He can't see what's in front of him, because he's like he can't see the wood for the trees. He doesn't know what to do next because his vision is blocked. But all he needs to do is pluck every one of those things that are blocking his higher vision one by one out. And then he sees the full clear sky, the full playing field. He sees what needs to be seen, and he can stop being beaten by what's going on around him once he has a clear view, and one by one takes away all the obstacles that have been blocking him. Remove the obstacles. Remove the obstacles. And if you need help doing that by some legal professional or a counselor or somebody, help them to help you remove the obstacles, because for you maybe at this point the obstacles are too overwhelming, so you do need somebody's help, because this card is about not knowing. On one hand I see where they're coming from, on one hand I see where they're coming from, I can't make a decision. So I do believe somebody needs to come in to help you make a decision, and these last two cards are saying the same. Somebody needs to come in to weigh things up. Two cards of weighing shit up. Weighing it up maybe on your behalf. First you do it. You decide what is trash and what is treasure. Who gets my money? Who gets my time? Who gets my effort? Who gets my energy? Who gets rewarded in my life? And who doesn't? Who is the real deal in my life? Who are the gold people in my life? Who are the treasures in my life? They get all my attention now. If it's an issue, again, I'm going back to money. If it's an issue to do with money, you do need maybe some financial advice, even if it's your bank manager or somebody. You need some professional advice to see how to figure this out. It could be your accountant or somebody. Figure out how to balance this. You may need to borrow a little money. You may need to figure out how to pay off somebody, pay off a debt. It all needs to be weighed up, because in the end karma is coming. This is Libra, the big karmic card. This is the cold judgment. She has no passion. She does not favor one side against another. She is blind justice, and she comes in and says, you've had all month, Virgo, to see your part to play, maybe in some things here. Clean it, rise above it, because when my sword of judgment comes, it will come quickly, and anyone who isn't playing fair will be dealt a blow. So I feel it's very strong here, Virgo. Step back, step away. No more involvement with toxic people or trashy situations. Focus on your work. Focus on your children. Focus on growing into your future. Focus on all the good, positive, moral, spiritual things in your life, because the sword will come and karma will come to those who have tried to get in your way, but also people who have just not been working from a good moral standard. Karma will come for them. It will. Justice will come. Will it be the type of justice you want? Will it be the type of justice you'd hoped for? I don't know. When it comes to karmic justice, it's very hard to know how that will play out. I mean, for us, justice would be, they will give me the money that they owe me. They will reimburse me for, falsely letting me go from my workplace, falsely letting me go without redundancy, or blah, blah, blah. That, this is right. They're human corrections. That's a human way of seeing justice. But when karma comes, karma will give exactly the right justice. Even from the outside, sometimes it might look like, well, nothing happened to them. You have to be sure that karma knows where to bring balance back here. So allow that to happen. And maybe in some cases towards the very end of the month, Virgo, you might even get to see karma play out. So that's why it's a good idea for you to be very far back from the negative people. So sorry Virgo, I'm going to leave it at that. And it's intense. I know all the readings I think this month are quite intense. There's a lot of karmic stuff going on for everybody. But to get into the real nitty-gritty, this is only the general landscape. To get into the real nitty-gritty, the fine details, by now to come to the VIMEO readings, the deep read, all linked down there below, where every month we go into bigger situations, love, relationships, if you're single, to find out what's going on, money, career, family, everything. We go right in and focus into all of those things and pull out what's going on so that we have a better view, okay? So do come along, all linked down there below, the VIMEO reading, the deep read, and we'll figure it out. So Virgo, my love, I wish you the very best with this tricky month. Tricky for you, tricky for a lot of people, but take the higher moral ground and stay wise, stay sharp, and you'll get through this, my beauty, you will. And keep focusing on the treasures that are coming your way. They will come. So I'm going to leave it at that, and as always, I'll leave you with all my love and a great big kiss from me to you, my beautiful. Until next month, bye, my gorgeous.